Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome back, you guys. It's Friday Night Live. First of all, tell me if you can hear me. If you're chiming in, let me know if you can hear me. Trying out a new microphone. Not really sure if it's working or not, but hey, I'm going to give it a whirl. So, you guys let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so I posted on my community tab to see. Y'all, can I promise you that never happens until I turn on this computer, or this camera? So I posted on my community tab to see if anybody wanted to join me for a live Q&A, and several of you said absolutely, Shakima, we do want to join you for a live Q&A. So you guys, I've collected some questions. I asked you all to leave me some questions on my post, and I've collected some of those questions, and I'm going to be answering those questions live, hot off the press, all the things, right? Absolutely, I am. So do a favor, like the video, share, subscribe. Let me know who's watching in the comments because this is going to be a good one. Okay, I don't have a ton of questions, but I can talk a lot. So y'all pray for me. Let me know if you can hear me. That's what I need to know, is if you can hear me. Because, well, let me see if I can hear me. Hey, ma'am, can you let me know if you can hear me, Helen? I'm trying a new microphone. I'm not sure if it's working or not, but I'm giving it a try. What I have going on is my computer fan is really loud, so I'm trying to combat that with this microphone. So if you can hear me, that helps me. Hey, you guys, love y'all. Hey, ma'am, good to see you. So glad that you all are here. Like the video, share, subscribe. Let me know if y'all can hear me. That's the big question of the day. I do have questions that some of you submitted. A couple of you submitted some questions. I thought they were pretty decent. And so I'm going to jump in to start answering those questions. I got them. Okay, let's see. All right. I think this was one of the first questions. Oh, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe, do all things. Follow, yes, and be interactive in the comments because there may be a question that you want to know that's not on here. So one of the first questions, I used to do these Friday night chit chats or these Sunday night sit downs. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I used to do the Friday night chit chats or the Sunday night sit downs. They used to be Saturday night sit downs. It's been so many years since I've done an actual live Q&A, but hey, I'm here for it. All right. So here's one of the questions that came up, and this is from Plateau Pressure. Wondering, of all the different diets you have tried, is there one that you keep coming back to that has worked for you each time? Is there a diet that you have tried that doesn't seem to bring success consistently? You are doing great, by the way, and thank you for sharing your journey. It's real inspiring. So, that's one of the questions that I did. I'm glad that was asked because I just recently had some new developments in the diet department. Now, before I share on this particular question, I do want to say that I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a healthcare professional of any kind. I'm not giving you healthcare advice. I'm just telling you what I am doing or have done or will do or will not no longer do as I move forward in my journey. So, for most of you, you know that I started off with the GLP-1s in 2023. This was after having some extreme weight gain in 2022 that just didn't make sense to me. I'd been on keto for a long time and had relative success with it. But previous to that, I had actually had a partial hysterectomy. And I'm not sure if that was the situation that prompted the weight gain. I think I was doing okay, but then the weight gain just started to come on, perimenopause and all those types of things. Of course, when you take out parts of the anatomy, things happen to your body. And so it was better for me though to have the partial hysterectomy because of all the female issues that I was having. I would have very, very heavy cycles. And with those heavy cycles came lots of clots and just, I mean, they would just be sliding out, just drip, 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 just terrible. Now, tiny ones, but big ones. And my doctor said to me, Shakima, you're not living. And I was like, okay, so we need to do something about it. And I was uneasy about it. I did not want to have the surgery First of all, the doctor that they had told me was going to do the surgery did not have a great bedside manner, and I did not love it. And I also had, this is just being very open and honest and probably TMI, I did have incontinence issues. I would sneeze and I would laugh and, tinkle or sprinkle a little bit. So my doctor did say, he said, Shakima, you're really not living life. He said, you need to do something about this. And so what I chose was to do, of course, the partial hysterectomy for the female issues, but then they also did a sling for my incontinence. And so that absolutely has radically changed my life. But in 2022, I started to notice that there was a lot of weight gain just out of nowhere. I was like, I ballooned up and I have been going down, down, down. So talked to my doctor. She knew a specialist that was working with the weight loss clinic. And they both were very, very against me doing anything weight loss medication at all. And I just absolutely told her, I said, listen, I need help. I cannot do this on my own. I don't know. I've dieted. I've done this eating plan, given up this, all the things. And it's nothing I'm doing is working. So my doctor finally agreed with the other doctor that as long as I met with her on her schedule, did all the things she asked me to do, that they would petition my insurance to pay. We got the approval and my insurance paid for a whole year. So I did the GLP-1s all of from 23 up to 24. So from like April 23 through April 24. So 1 year. At April of 24, they stopped covering it. My insurance stopped covering any weight loss medication at all. I lost in total 89 pounds. Was at the top of, because in order to stay on the medication, you have to meet certain markers. That's how they approve it. And so in order to stay on the medication, I had to meet certain markers, and I met all of my markers. I was ahead. But as soon as the medication stopped, of course, the weight started to come back on. Slowly but surely. And over the last 2 years that I've been off of the medication, so from April, well, the end of April, so let's just say May 1st of 24 to February of 26, I've gained about 24 pounds back of the 89 pounds, right? So still a good amount of weight loss, but when you've been thin and now you see yourself, and I'm kind of slightly pudgy, my face is a little bit rounder than it was before. This is what I normally look like. And of course, I'm 65 pounds over what I should be according to the charts and the BMIs and all the things. But this is just where I am. And I can still see that I'm maintaining where I am. I'm not losing, but I'm not gaining either, which is good. I go to the gym 5 days a week at minimum. But I'm not losing. So 2 months ago, because my insurance will no longer pay for any weight loss medication of any kind, I started seeing a new doctor because my doctor retired. I've been seeing her for about 20 years, maybe. She retired. And so I needed to see a new doctor. She put me in, and I was like, listen, this is where I am. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. I'm not able to lose the weight, even though I'm trying. I'm doing everything I know to do. I'm going to the gym. I'm eating well. I'm doing all the things, and nothing is happening. So she ended up putting me on a weight loss pill. She asked me, would I be able to afford the out-of-pocket for the GLP-1s? I said it's, excuse me, beyond my, y'all, I've been sitting in this house all day. No yawning until I turn this camera on. I said, that is beyond my pockets right now. So she said, well, my mom tried this other, it was a pill form. She said, let's see if that will work for you. She said, when you, because you slowly increase your dose. For the 1 week, you do this. For the next week, you do this. The third week, you do something else. And by the fourth week, you're on the maximum dose. So I did that for 2 months. A couple of things that I noticed: extreme nausea, especially these last couple of weeks, to the point where I had to, I don't think so. I don't think it is, but I can't be for 100% sure. But I just experienced extreme nausea, especially over the last 2 to 3 weeks, to the point where I had to email her to say, hey, is there something you can give me for this nausea? The other thing that I suffered with, and this is at the max dose, which is 4 pills a day, headaches, insomnia, where I was waking up again at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I had really gotten past that point. I was sleeping. Now I'm waking up again. And I could taste that medication taste was in my mouth constantly. And I would brush and I would chew gum and just trying to get that taste out of my mouth, but it was constantly there. So this past week, I think, let me see, I went to work Monday. I had to go to a work out of town with a drive. It was like a 6.5 hour drive there and back to do a presentation with my coworker. I didn't eat anything that day because I just didn't have time in the morning. By the time we got there and trying to get back, we had gone all the way to Greensboro. It was just a lot. So when I got back home, because I had a meeting Monday night, I stopped through Chick-fil-A. Now, I'm not a big drive-through person. I really just don't do that, but I didn't have time to do anything else. I said, let me just stop and get something. Picked up a simple meal, was eating, had my camera off while I was doing my meeting, and y'all, out of nowhere, I was sick as a dog. It kind of reminded me of stomach dumping when you are doing the GLPs, because I had stomach dumping about 3 times in the whole year that I used the medication. Hey now, good to see everybody. And so, I mean, I was sick as a dog, and I mean sick. And so that Tuesday, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to I got up to go to work, got there, and I was real sick, and I'd taken a pill to help me with the nausea, and I just couldn't do it. So I don't think so. I think it was just the fact that I hadn't eaten anything, and I tried to put that in my stomach. I probably should have just tried to do a little bone broth or just a little light soup or something. I think it was just too heavy for my system because it was the only thing that I had had all day, and I think it was just too much. So I ended up coming home Tuesday early, and I ended up just, feeling bad all day. So then by Tuesday evening, I had just made a decision, and I got back to work Wednesday or Thursday, and I just emailed my doctor. I said, listen, I appreciate you listening to me. She listened to me. I said, this is what I'm experiencing. This is where I am. And the pill that I was taking was two-part. It was to help with the weight loss, but it also had something in it that helped my brain a little bit. So kind of like a antidepressant thing. It wasn't that I was trying to take antidepressants, but this is what it was made up of. This is the best I can explain it. That was the best that I could explain it. And so, anywho, I liked everything that I was feeling. Hang on one second, y'all. I liked everything that I was feeling except the sickness. Like I told y'all the other night, I had like this anxious attachment style. It was helping me with that, but I'd much rather just kind of I'd much rather not be sick and just try to deal with that on my own. I just don't want to be sick. And so I just made a decision, and I messaged her. I said, thank you so much for listening to me, for hearing me, what I was saying. And I just am deciding that I'm not going to do the medication anymore. I'm just going to do the best I can with diet and exercise and all of that. So the question was, is there a particular diet that I keep coming back to? There are two. So Whole30 works really well for me when I stick to whole ingredients. No dairy, no dairy is the big thing. No dairy at all. But then I also have done keto successfully. Keto is higher fat content, and it does include dairy, but I think dairy just makes my body inflamed. Even though that's a big keto portion, I think if I just did non-dairy keto, it would be better, which actually ends up being Whole30. So I have done those two successfully over the past years, even carnivore is pretty good, but I don't like just eating all meat. I really do like some veggies in there as well because I like vegetables. But carnivore is one that works out as well for me, but I don't want to just do one thing. And I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. Please don't judge me because I know people do judge. So today, just today, I went to the store and well, when I was doing the GLP-1s, I did not have any of that. I did not have any of the nausea. I only had stomach dumping 3 times in a year. I think I was really one of those cases that were like a dream case because my doctor was like, "Oh, Shakima, you're doing really well," right? She didn't expect me to have the success that I had. I was doing very well. So I didn't have all of that. This was a pill form that I was just doing the last 2 months. And so it just was not something that I can continue to do because I can't function. It was to the point where I'm not functioning and I'm coming home a lot, very sick. But just today, because diets are so restrictive, like we're supposed to be doing Whole30 this month, but my birthday was this month. I went out this month for my birthday 3 times. And so it messes up the whole system when you don't keep to the system, right? It's supposed to be 30 days of just doing one thing. So, and it's dieting is very restrictive. So for me, because I have been feeling extremely restrictive, today I went to the store. I bought some imitation Girl Scout cookies. The lemonades are my favorite, and I ate the whole pack, almost the whole pack today. I don't do that ever, but diets are very restrictive, and it was just one of those impulsive things. I'm not going to eat anymore. I can control the things that I eat because I've done the dieting thing so long, right? All these years. I don't go out to eat, but I did have that. I had gotten a Chick-fil-A gift card for my birthday, and it was right there. I was dropping my friend back off at her car. We had dropped off the rental car. I was taking her back to her car, and I was on my way home for a meeting. And so I was like, let me just do all of the things. And it was the only reason why I did that. I purposefully, hey now, good to see everybody. I purposefully don't buy sweet treats. Sweets are my thing, but I purposefully don't buy sweet treats because I know me. I try to stick very much to meat and veggies if I can. If I work out, I try to put a potato in, but potato is not keto. It becomes Whole30. And so that messes with my brain. I try to prep ahead so I have food ready and available. But a lot of times I had a weakness today and I purposefully just ate them. I was like, I want it and I'm going to eat it. So there it is. Will I eat that tomorrow? Absolutely not. Because again, I can tell that I've gained the weight. I've totally went through my whole closet, took all my fat girl clothes out, and I have skinny girl clothes. But now I'm kind of in that. I had on a pair of jeans today and I'm like, you know what? And it's my cortisol belly. That's what it is. It's that stress hormone. I'm gaining weight. Now I'm stressing out about that. I don't know if somebody's going to love me this fat. Now I'm stressing out about that. I'm not feeling well. I'm stressed out about that. So it's all of those types of things at this age. Losing weight is a challenge over 40. For me, it has been. I'm trying to stay away from dairy as best I can. And I have seen that cheese potato thing. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should. But I'm doing my very level best to stay away from dairy if I can, because I like it and I want to eat it. But it doesn't like me at times. I think as I get older, it just is one of the things that doesn't like me. So if I had to pick between stomach dumping, the question is, what is stomach dumping? So it's when for me, when I was on the medication, it would just be one of those instances where I would be extremely nauseous. I would be extremely, like, the room would be spinning almost. I think it was just whatever was in that medication would just take me through a loop. And then I would be sick on my stomach, and everything that was in there or whatever wasn't in there would just be coming out. And so that only happened to me about 3 times in the whole time that I was doing the GLP-1s. But it can be one of those things, because what it really does is, like when you have stomach surgery, it shrinks your stomach pouch, and your stomach pouch is only so big. So you can't put it does. It's she said somebody on Instagram said it sounds very much like food poisoning. That's what you feel like. But for me, it was just that one thing, and then you kind of be sick, and then it's over with, and it didn't come back again for months. Some people have it all the time. It's like when you have your stomach surgery, bariatric surgery, because you have to almost eat like you're a bariatric patient that much because your stomach is that small, or the medication helps your brain think your stomach is that small. So you can't put a lot in there, which is how you lose the weight so quickly, because you usually end up eating an eighth to a quarter of what you normally would eat. You're not eating 3/4 of what you normally would eat. You're only eating a quarter, and that's all day long. And that's if you feel the need to eat, if you feel hunger cues. Because when I was doing GLP-1s, I didn't have hunger cues at all. I was never hungry. Now I'm not hungry a ton, but there are days when I do feel hungry, right? And I don't like that. What I've noticed in this journey over the last 3 years is my relationship with food my relationship with food is complicated. I need to eat to live. I don't live to eat. But then because sometimes what I eat makes me gain weight, I don't want to eat. But I know I need to eat to live. So again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not telling you I have a nutritionist, I have a health coach, I got all those things, and none of that works for me. I have a group of ladies, we're from all across the country. We get together and we encourage each other in our weight loss, in our exercise habits, and all those things. And it's the only thing that I know that's working for me. Right now, no diet is my diet. I just try to do my level best to eat for the amount of weights I lift every week. I do my level best to try to eat what is healthy for my body. That's not going to make me feel bloated. Right now, I'm pretty bloated, or I just feel swollen. I look swollen because I've gained weight back, right? And so I'm doing my level best to not feel a type of way. And I feel like a failure because you all have watched me lose the weight, and here you've watching me now gain it back. And I feel like, gosh, Shakima, you've really failed. But we're all on our journey. We do the best we can. I go to the gym. When I got my YouTube, here's the channel you watched the most last year. It was the girl I work out with, right? I watch workout videos every day, and I do those videos. That was what I did the most last year. This year so far, I've kind of struggled a little bit because my schedule just will not let me be great. Like I didn't work out any this week at all. Monday I was gone. Tuesday I was sick. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wednesday, my son had something he had to do. Yesterday we had something else we had to do. And then today I just didn't feel the best. So I came home, then I had to take him to work, and it was just a lot. So I didn't work out any this week, but I'm back on it Monday, and I ate cookies, right? I don't typically do that, but that's just the way it was. So that was, if I had to choose for me, it would be keto or probably Whole30, because I'm trying to decrease the dairy. I just don't want to do dairy. I think it doesn't do my body well. So that was one of the questions that came through. Here was another question. This one is from Shantae. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry if I'm saying, you know what? The devil don't want me to be great. This says hauls is what initially brought me to your channel. I'm so glad you continue to do your grocery hauls. As the years have gone by, I see more of your personality and I love it. My question is, how did you land in North Carolina, and is this your forever state? So thank you so much. I appreciate that. So here's the story of how I got to North Carolina. So back in 1986, I try my best. I typically give more than I get, but the Lord is faithful, and He's gracious, and He is allowing other people to fill me. So I'm grateful for that. And back in 1986, one evening, I lived in Brooklyn, New York, with my mom. One night, it was probably about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. My aunt comes to my house, and she finds me in the house by myself. I'm 10 years old at the time. My mom is out doing her thing, with her friends, out doing her, what friends do with their beverages and their things that they do, and I'm in the house by myself. And I remember this like it was yesterday. My aunt gets me up out of the bed. She grabs a big black trash bag. She goes to the dirty clothes closet. She opens up the closet. She puts whatever clothing she can find in the big black trash bag. She takes the black trash bag and me, put us in the car, and she's coming to North Carolina with a cousin of ours, and she brings me to my grandparents. And from that moment to this moment, I've been in North Carolina. It was when I was an adult woman that my aunt told me. She said, I saw my niece and I said, I'm not leaving my niece in this house one more night by herself. I don't know to this day how many nights I had been in that house by myself when my mom was out drinking and doing all of the things that she was grown enough to do. My mom has passed away, God rest her soul. She did what she did. She mommed the way she could. I'm momming the way I do. They're not the same. And so I get it and I understand. But my aunt saw me in that place and took me out of that. I've often told this, and I know people might not think this is the truth, and I hope I can get through this without crying. Probably not. Okay. Had I stayed with my mom, this is my opinion. I don't know this to be true. My mom had such a severe addiction. Had I stayed with my mom, I'm almost certain that I might have been sold to pay for the addiction. And so I don't know if my aunt knew that or if what she knew. I just know that it was better for me to be away from my mother than for me to stay with my mother. And even though I came to North Carolina, my grandparents were alcoholics. They were just the biggest alcoholics ever. I still knew I was going to have a place to stay. I still knew I was going to be fed. I was going to have clean clothes. And so most people would say, well, your grandparents didn't do anything better for you than your mom did. I want to beg to differ that my grandparents did the best for me they knew how to do. And I'm appreciative of my grandparents every day of my life. They may not have been somebody else's choice for me, but they were the best choice I had. And so they were my parents. Even though I had parents, they were my parents. And I'm thankful every day for them and what they did for me. I'm 50 years old and I still think about when I make decisions if this would please my grandparents. I never think about what my parents would think. I always think about what would my grandparents say if I did X, Y, and Z. The question further said, is this my forever home? I had previously decided, like last year, I had already decided that when I retire in 2 years, 2.5 years, I was going to move to Texas because my son lives in Texas, my daughter lives in California, and I would prefer to be closer to my children as we enter into that season of grandchildren might be coming at some point. They're going to come soon. So I was like, well, let me get closer to them some type of a way. I don't want to live in California. That's not my jam. I could prefer to live in Texas. I know a good church home in Texas. The Pastors Network that I belong to, they hail out of Texas. And so I knew I would be able to find a good church home. I would be able to find what I needed and still be close enough to my son, but then kind of midway between where I am now and my daughter. So I wanted to kind of be close enough. But as the Lord has blessed me with this Mr. Wonderful, I do not believe he wants to live in Texas. I think that North Carolina is his choice. And so if the Lord says the same and we end up together, then I will be here. I will be where I don't have a home, right? I don't have a place. Wherever my family is my home. And so if the Lord allows him to be a part of my family, if this is his choice, then this is where we are. If the Lord says something different and somebody else is my choice, where they are is where my home will be. I like it here just fine. I'm not nailed down to anything. The only thing keeping me here is the house, and it can sell tomorrow. So, for a long time I didn't put down roots because I didn't want anything to hinder me from moving if I wanted to. But owning a home is a good financial decision. I just did my taxes today. My accountant did the taxes for us, and being able to write off my interest on my home is helpful. And so I'll make money when I sell, God willing, to be able to help my spouse to um, purchase something that's ours. I just found yesterday a family compound in Georgia that had it's on 3.5 acres. It has 3 different properties on this particular land. Thank you so much. I'm so thankful that I found. And he just called too, and I was like, "I'm gonna call you back. Sorry, you're doing something right now." He just called me. I'm like, I'll call him later. Um, but I don't have a this is where I'm gonna be. I'm just wherever the Lord wants me, right? Because what I do ministry wise, I can do that from anywhere. I am virtual, I'm all the things, and so I can do that from any place. I want to be wherever my person is, my spouse. Let me just say that I'm not my person, but my husband. Another question that came was, let me see. This was a question that came from Cass Cole. Are you and your new friend praying together? Have you shared your marital goals with him? So we do pray together. Um, you can't be with me and not know that marriage is my send me a message in my DMs and I'll tell you who I go to. If you send me a message in my DMs, I'll definitely tell you who I use, or I'll give you their number. So you can't be with me and not know that marriage is heavy on my mind. It is. I am marriage minded, which we have talked about. At 6 months, we haven't talked about us getting married, but we've talked about marriage. He's talked about his parents. His parents were married for 42 years. He says, my parents are my, they were my goal. They were marriage goals. They were my example of what marriage should look like. My grandparents were married for 50 years. My mother was never married. My grandparents were married for 50 years. So it is my heart, and being a believer, blood bought, born again believer, that God has marriage for me. He's seen my platform. He knows what I do. He knows that what I talk about is mainly marriage, family, being a woman, all of that. So you can't be with me and not know that marriage is heavy on my mind. Or you just a fool. And I don't think he's any of those types of things. We have not again talked us specifically getting married, but he knows the desire of my heart. And he's known that from the very beginning. That wasn't a conversation that we didn't have. That was a conversation that we had. Hey, I'm marriage minded. So, just make your decision what you're trying to do. Like, I don't have time to waste. And so I don't think he does either. Like, I'm a little bit older, just slightly a little bit older. So I'm already on my pathway, but he knows that I've been single for 16 and a half years. Well, 16 years, because we've been dating for 6 months. But he knows where I am on that. And I do plan to be married. Whether it's to him or not, it's his choice. That is his choice, because I'm satisfied if this is what God wants for me. He makes me happy. He checks all of my boxes. But if that's not his choice, he knows to move along. And God will have something different. So that is, he just makes me, I wish I could just really share all of the things, but he makes me extremely happy. I'm happy within myself. Okay, let me just be very, very clear. I didn't wait to get with somebody to become happy. I was already happy with me, my family, my circumstances, my finances, all those types. I have exceptional credit. I was happy with me as an individual. He just added something, and he was happy with who he was. And I hopefully, prayerfully, I'm adding something to his life as well. So it's not one of those things where I waited for him to show up for my happiness, because if he leaves, then I'm going to be sad again. That's not it. I am genuinely happy with me, but he makes me happier. I mean, it's just, I know that I have somebody that I was having a bad day from work yesterday. And when he called me, no, not yesterday, Tuesday, when he called me, he just listened. He just let me say what I needed to say. He let me feel how I needed to feel. And I said to him, I just want to thank you for listening without judging. Just let me say what I needed to say. I was just all, and he didn't care. He just was like, okay, I hear you. I understand. He just makes me happy. He makes me smile. I texted him yesterday. I said, thank you for making me belly laugh. He just makes me belly laugh. It's a fun time in my life where I'm enjoying it with a person I really enjoy. Um, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm not sure if we'll be here or not. I do believe marriage is in his heart as well, again, because he has his parents and he talks about that. I don't think so. Again, I believe that the Lord can do what the Lord wants to do. Before I met him, I knew that God wanted me to be married. I've known this since 2016 that God wanted me to be married. I'm believing the Lord to be married by the end of the year. I still have 10 months. That will put us well over a year. That will put us 16 months by the time the end of the year comes. And anybody should know by then that they want to be married or not. And so we will see. God gets the final say. If I'm not married by the end of the year, God's still God. But if I am married by the end of the year, God's still God, right? And so knowing me and having been single as long as I've been and the things I desire in my marriage and from a marriage relationship, I believe that the Lord is going to work it out. How? I don't know. When? I don't know. I can't put handcuffs on the Lord and tell him what it is. I've prayed. I've put that out there. I've let the Lord know I'm not anxious about it. He knows where I am. And so I see people who say, hey, we got married 5 months ago and didn't tell anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not married. I'm just saying I've seen that. Or we just showed up one day and say, hey, let's go to the courthouse. It could be just that, right? Most people think, well, by the end of the year, it has to be a big grand to do and all of those types. I've been married before. I don't need any of that. I need my kids, I need my man, and I need a marriage license. That's pretty much it. To have all that other stuff will be great, but I don't need to have all of that just to say I had it. So it is really whatever we decide if he's the person. Again, I don't know. He knows what my desire is, and I do not think, again, I may not know everything about men, but I don't think he's playing games, right? I don't think this particular individual is playing games. So we'll see. December 31st, we'll see what happens. Of course, I still have 2 years with Jackson here with school and all the things. So I don't know. I'm still praying, believing the Lord that by the end of the year I will be married, but I don't know. I have faith for it. I have faith for it. If it doesn't work out, I'm still gonna have faith to believe that God has the best things for me. I prayed and asked God to send me your best son. That's what I prayed and asked God for. And so this is who showed up. Must be the best one he got. So that's what that is. Okay, let me see. What was another comment that came? Why did you originally start your YouTube? Why did you originally decide to start a YouTube channel? Has that purpose changed throughout the years? Also, why did you begin sharing your actual numbers, budgeted numbers? I'm thankful that you did. This is what brought me to your channel. So originally, when I started the YouTube channel in 2014, I believe it was, the Lord he was helping me along my debt journey. I was in debt up over my eyeballs. My ex had left us. The marriage was over, all the things, right? And I was trying to recover. And the Lord told me, he said, Shakima, if I can do it for you, I can do it for other people. And I need you to share that with people. Like, if you see where I am, I'm in the ditch. I'm over my head in debt. I got these kids. I don't know how I'm going to feed these kids. I'm feeding my kids on $25 a week. And come and see what God is going to do for us. And so over the years, it's still been that same constant underlying theme. No matter what I've done, it's been come and look what God has done for us. Y'all, just to the point, this today, actually, I got my taxes done. Well, I sent off the other day. She had my stuff ready for me today. And this is the second year in a row that I'm actually getting a refund a very considerable refund compared to the years past that I've had to pay money. And I have had some things that I needed to pay. I'd already said this on my budget. I have a trip I'm going on. I got another big expense I got to pay. Mr. Jerome is coming to do some work. And I'm like, Lord, where am I going to get the money from? And the Lord showed up today when she sent me back. She said, hey, your stuff is all done. This is what it is. Jackson didn't have to file his taxes this year, but the refund is going to pay for my trip. It's going to pay for Mr. Jerome, and it's going to pay for the other thing without me taking any money out of my savings or any money that'll come in next month. This will take care of all of the things that I needed to take care of moving into next month when it's going to happen. And so, as it started out in the very beginning, if God can do it for me, he can do it for you. Now, I'm going to be very honest and say, I don't know your process. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know if he'll take you down the same road that he took me down. But what I can say is God's not a respecter of persons, and if he wants to bless me, he is a blesser of his children. And if you're considered one of his children, then he's going to bless you as well. Whether your blessing looks like my blessing or not, I don't know all that. But what I can tell you is he is the blesser. And I trust him for every area of my life. And over all of these years, I think it's Todd Galbraith that sings a song. After all of these years, you're still good. You're so good. After all these years, he's been the same to me every single time. He's not done anything that would call me to question him. He's not done anything in regards to me or my family or the people that I love that would ever make me stop serving him. Just because he gives me things or does things for me does not make me want to serve him more. I serve him because of who he is in my life. I serve him because when I've cried myself to sleep, he's been there to wrap his arms around me. When I have not had anybody else to lean on, I was able to lean on the Lord, and I was not too heavy. See, some people will look at you. I feel like I'm preaching, praise God. Some people will look at you and they'll say, Shakima, you just too much. You just too heavy. God's never told me that I was too heavy or too much. He just said, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. And I just went to him because when I couldn't sleep and when I couldn't get comfortable, when I couldn't rest, I was all going through these motions. He was like, Shakima, you doing too much. Just let me do it. And I'm like, okay, God, you can do it. And he's taking care of me and my kids the whole time. Yesterday, I went to get my will situated. I never wanted to go and get my will situated. It reminds me that I am eventually going to leave this earth and leave my kids. But my kids were like, Mom, we need to know what you want us to do. We need to know how to divvy stuff up. We need to know all the things. And I said, fine, I'll do it. And my daughter said, Mom, don't worry about how you're going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. And she had saved the money up last year. And when I finally went to make the appointment, she immediately Venmoed the money into my account. God already had taken care of it for me ahead of time before I even thought that it needed to be taken care of. I'm not going to leave my kids in the same situation my mom left me in, trying to make all the decisions and not knowing which decisions to make at all. But God said, no, Shakima, I'm taking care of you from this little decision to the biggest decisions. And he's done all of that for me. So what I started was, listen, if God can do it for a little girl from nowhere, North Carolina, he can surely do it for you as well. Again, how, when, who, I don't know all of those details. I just know God. And I'm thankful for who he is. I'm thankful for what he's done. I'm thankful for how he's shown up in my life. And I pray that he shows up in your life as well. The same way, if not greater, right? Because I'm not in competition with anybody about what God is going to do for me. There's enough God to go around. Somebody asked me, would I consider doing a meet and greet? Absolutely. I'm here for it. I'm going to be in Texas very soon. And so I would love to meet any of my Texonians, any of my Texas women that would be in the San Antonio, San Marcos, Austin area. It's not very far, what is that? New Brunswick. It's not very far to get to where I will be in San Antonio. I would love to meet people. the Titus 2 ladies are going on a retreat. We're getting an Airbnb. We hope there's going to be a pool and all kinds of other things. We would love to have as many women as we can just join us and come hang and let us pray for you, lay hands on you, just sit together and eat a meal. Jesus sat with his disciples and he ate. That is the one thing that I would love to do with all of the ladies, and just eat and fellowship together. I do like Texas. The reason I fell in love with Texas was because of Chuck Norris when he was the Texas Ranger. So I've loved Texas since he was a Texas Ranger. I always thought I would move there and marry him, but he was already married to somebody else, so it wasn't going to quite work out for me. And then I met Mr. Wonderful, so it just don't work out. But for sure, I love Texas. Anywhere I am is home to me. I don't have a place. I've never had a place, but anywhere that I am, is where it is. I have a date in Australia. I've got ladies all over the world. I would just love, love, love to meet you guys and just like I said, hug necks and just sit and fellowship and talk and do all those things. So the other question, and this came from Starlin, was why did I decide to start using my real numbers when I do my budget video? Very simple. I don't have time to be trying to figure stuff out, like coming and making up stuff. I got one budget to do, and I have this much time to get it done in. And so it just made very much sense for me to do my real numbers, because I was showing y'all the budget. It's not like y'all gonna come over here and do nothing to me. The money's gone by the time you see it anyway, because I pay all my bills online. So by the time you've seen it, the bills have already been paid. So it's not like I have the cash on hand. That money has gone. And so it just made it most simplistic for me in my time schedule to just do it one time. I couldn't do the fake budget and then come back and do a real budget. That just, to me, is just not realistic for my time, and I just don't have time for all of that. So that's why I decided to just keep it real and share with you what I share. Now, I will say this, as I move along and as the Lord would connect my life with somebody else, if my husband does not wish for me to share our numbers, then I will not share those. I may share what I share, kind of still what I'm doing, but I would never go against his wishes to share our budget, because as I grow and evolve and he, more people come into my life, I have to be respectful of their wishes as well. I share what I can share, what he's comfortable with me sharing. But if he's not comfortable any further, then I have to respect that, because again, I asked the Lord for him. I didn't ask the Lord for y'all, right, to join my life. And so I have to be respectful of that, of his privacy. But if he doesn't care, then we'll share what we share, or we'll share the pieces that we can. Again, I always knew that when the Lord joined my life with someone, I had to think about them in regards to what I do. And so they have to be a part of it, or they have to give their approval for me to continue in a specific vein. And if they don't, then I need to be respectful of that and maneuver from that place of respect for my spouse. So that was why. It wasn't any reason. Then I just didn't have time to do two budgets. One was all I could do. And in the very beginning, when I first started doing the zero-based budget Dave Ramsey plan, I did the budget, but I didn't always stick to it faithfully. So now I've tried to stick to this as faithfully as I can. And it just works out for me to do it this way. That's the best I have. Let me see if there's anything else that's up here. Okay, that was a question. I think those were all the questions that I had. If anybody else has another question, y'all let me know. I'm happy to answer. Again, most people want to know, are me and my new, the relationship is still it's so new. We went out, he came up for my birthday. My birthday was on a Thursday. He came up that Friday to take me out to dinner. And we have a list. We have a list of all the places that we still want to go to. Right. And I always ask him, like, are you sure you want to, that, am I getting another date? He's like, well, we'll go to this place next time. I'm like, are you coming back again? He was like, we putting it on the list. So we had a place we were going. But he when he came that Friday, which was the 6th of February, he texted me again, hey, I'm leaving this time. I'll be here this time. He's always the same. I'm leaving this time. I'll be here this time. And so I got there early. But when he finally got there, I said, I feel like this is our first date. Like, I feel like, and we've been dating for 6 months. I feel like, why do I feel like this is the first time I've ever seen you in my life? It's good. It's a good space to be in. We're still learning each other. We're still enjoying each other. Um, Even today, we've chatted right along, and I still feel like it's the very first time. I think for me, how do I say this without saying, I'm falling in love, y'all. I am actually falling in love. Am I in love like in there? Like, I don't think so, but I can feel myself falling into it, into a place I've never been before. And I'm determined, though, I'm not in love until you in love. We're gonna be in love at the same time. So if you ain't in love with me, I'm not in love with you. But I feel like I'm falling in love, right? And it's a good place to be. Again, I think any person can come up with a reason we shouldn't be together. He's not this, she's not that. They're not, but at this point, the only people that matter are him, myself, and the Lord. My children, he does not have children, does not desire to have children. He's good without children. I've got kids, and I asked him, I said, are you sure? Because we got to a point in the very beginning where I said, you're a young man. You have the opportunity to find somebody younger than I am that could still have kids if that's your desire. I don't want to hold you from that. And he said, Shakima, I said to myself, if I didn't have kids by 40, I guess I wasn't going to have them. And I don't have kids. So I guess this is where I am. And I asked him that more than one time. I said, are you sure? Because I cannot have children. At this point, if I could have them, I still wouldn't. I am so far beyond little babies and diapers and all that, unless they're grandkids, I'm good. And he says, I've already told you, we've talked about this before. I'm good where we are. And so it's a good spot to be in. We totally have time to focus on each other. We totally have time to we totally have time to keep learning each other. We totally have time to nurture this thing. I think he feels the same way that about I think he feels about me how I feel about him, but I can't tell you if he's falling in love or not. I'm just telling you where I am. And that's my true heart of things. I am falling in love with this man. And I'm okay with that. And he loves the Lord. He loves the Lord. He absolutely loves the Lord. I love God. Um what was so cute last week, he sent me a video clip of, because when he goes to his home church, he has a part in church. So they were filming, and so but I couldn't see the video because I'm not friends with the girl who was. They don't have like a church page, just like through her page, whatever. We're not friends. It's fine. So I told him, I said, well, babe, when you get home, just screen record it so I can see it. And he screen recorded it. And so here he is, doing kind of similar to the things I do. He's said, I don't want to be a pastor. I get that and I understand. But he's up in front of people. He's doing all of the things that I'm doing. And so when he sent me the video, I said, well, would you be interested? So y'all might see him sooner than you think. I said, would you be interested in teaching with me? Would that be something that you would be interested in? Again, he does not desire to be a pastor. If he's like, yes, I would be interested in it. And I'm like, oh, okay, praise God. So I put that in my little notebook of things like he would be interested in, if the Lord gave us something to teach together, he would be interested in that. So, that was another added answered prayer to me. This man works in his church. He's laboring for the Lord, and he would work with me together, because I said we would be a preaching duo over here now. Okay, sir, I see you. He's like, yep, I would do it if that's what you wanted to do. So 25 years ago, see, here you go, ma'am, you out here. I'm just trying to be real, because I have been in love before, honey. People didn't like me at all, so I'm like, you know what? I'll be in love when you in love. But I mean, I've thought about saying it, but I've not been brave yet. I've not been brave, and it's fine. He knows I care for him. I tell him I care about him a lot, and I do tell him that I like him a lot, and he says he likes me as well. But we've not crossed over that into um, that love part yet. So we'll see what happens. Have you shared your starting process and what you did on the Dave Ramsey journey when you were getting out of debt? Of course, when I first started the Dave Ramsey way back, of course, I shared all those videos, and they're all under my budget videos. We started with the $1,000 emergency fund, then we went into the debt snowball, and then we have always been trying to get that baby step number 3, which is the 3 to 6 month savings. We already do baby step number 4. We do baby step number 5. We do baby step 7, and we do baby step number 6. So the only step we have not done was 3, which is that 3 to 6 months savings. I put money in my kids' savings. I don't pay for their college, but I do put money in their savings, and we tithe. So those were the other things, and we're paying off. We haven't paid off our house. So that's the one thing we haven't done, paid off the house or the 3 to 6 months, but we're working on those steps. So we've tried to get to those places, and this is my year to try to get there as well. But I do have some big expenses coming up in the next couple of months, well, next month. And so I have to go ahead and get all that done, which is why I'm thankful that my taxes are done, so that once that money comes in, they say about 3 weeks, 21 days at max. Once that money comes in, I'll be able to go ahead and take care of those things without having to pull out money from money I plan to put in my savings account next month. So that's where it is. God redeems the time, so it makes sense that things absolutely. Joel 2:25 is one of my verses. And I'll restore the years that the locust, the cankerworm, the palmworm have stolen. That's what a verse God gave me several years ago to hold on to. 2.5 years, and I'll be 30 years in my job, and I can retire. What's absolutely amazing, and this is just how God works this thing out. So where he lives, right, in the town that, can I say my boyfriend? I don't in the town that he lives in, the person who does what my boss does, their director, she and I are friends. And we have been friends for years. We have been friends for years and years and years ago, before I even knew this person, before he even ever moved to where he lives now. And I knew her before she was a director. So I knew her when she was in the same job that I'm in. And I've known her as a director. And I actually just saw her last year, like right before I met my boyfriend. And she just had the biggest smile on her face. Just, hey, Shakima, just there's nothing but love between us. So I was like, Lord, if you call me to move from where I am and I still need to work, that is an avenue that could potentially be open. And the Lord has worked that thing out for me, right? I've known her for, gosh, close to 20 years. That has nothing to do with him at all. He just happens to live in the same town where she's the director, who does the same thing that I do. And her and my director are friends. And I'm like, look at God. The Lord has done so many things he's just stair-stepped my life. Everything just seems to work out for me. And I'm thankful in that regard, that God already has this written out, right? He knows my end before my beginning. And I didn't know that. I just didn't know how he was going to orchestrate this part of my life. And I'm thankful that it is going the way it's going, if that makes any sense. Okay. Well, I appreciate that so much. Those were all the questions that I got. Unless you have any more questions, that's kind of going to be it for right now. Just know, hey, now I'm happy that you all joined me. The kids and I are doing well. We're actually, somebody was talking about finances. So the kids and I, we're actually doing we're doing what do we call it? A quarterly family money meeting. We're actually starting that next Saturday at 6:00 Eastern Standard, where all my kids will be on a live Zoom call with each other. And we're trying to see where everybody is. So we got Jackson set up with his Roth IRA. For Christmas, all of the kids and myself dumped in, and we got Trandon set up with his Roth IRA. Sister has a Roth IRA. Shamika has one. Her husband has one. I have two. So we're getting our family on a good financial. We're getting on a good financial footing for our family, if that makes any sense. We're moving towards financial freedom. We're moving towards, well, we're all financially free, but we're moving towards family generational wealth. That's what I'm trying to think of. Generational wealth for our family's sake. This is not anything that my mom knew. This is not anything I've experienced with my dad. He has a family of his own, and so I'm trying to make sure that my family, my kids and grandkids to come will be um, financially stable, financially secure, that type of thing. So the comment is, how about guy friend? So guy friend makes it sound so not together to me, right? I just call him my man, and just move along with life. But it's hard to say what other people would think is good to say. I don't know. I think of him just as my man, my man, my man. I mean, I don't know. I just call him his name. I don't call him any, well, I actually call him babe, but it's we've progressed to that part. Pretty much in the beginning for a long time, I think just up until about a week or two ago, he was his name. That was who he is, and he's fine with that. And then we kind of have a little pet name for him, and he likes that too, just fine. You're right. That's my man, my man, my man. Y'all, it's been a long time. I've been waiting to say that for a long time. But he is just the sweetest thing. I just told him today, I said, I just really appreciate you. His love language is quality time and words of affirmation. And I just believe in affirming who he is and the role he plays in my life. Have I created a role for him? I don't believe so. Like, I'm never going to put somebody in a place they don't want to be, but he is doing exactly what he wants to do, and I affirm him in that role. We're getting together next week, and so we've already talked about how it's going to look and all the things, and we're already preparing to kind of spend time together, and he's playing the role he wants to play. I'm not putting on to him what I feel. And I was listening to somebody. Who was it? Gosh, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying the best gift a man could give a woman is putting her in her feminine. I've never been with a man, not one man, that has ever allowed me to operate in my feminine until I got with this man. And we had a communication, like, very much in the beginning. And he was like, Shakima, I'm going to operate in my masculine, period. That's it. He said, that's who I am. And I'm like, you don't even understand what that does for me. That when you operate in masculine, it helps me not have to do it. So it forces me into my feminine, which is a role I've never been able to play. And I enjoy playing it over here. Generational wealth has turned into generational debt. So it's good that you're already thinking about absolutely. We're trying to definitely look beyond ourselves, because my kids will eventually have kids. So we're trying to set them up, or at least have a program in place so that everybody can be that generational wealth part. Yes, I feel that in my spirit. And if I felt like it wasn't the right thing, I think the Lord would, God has always done well to arrest my spirit. He's done always well to say, hey, Shakima, pump your brakes, slow your roll. And as I've listened to the Lord, he's been there for me. But I'm promising y'all, again, I prayed to the Lord for a long time to see the type of situation that I have right now. And I love it for me. And I tell him all the time, I said, I like you for me. I do. I love everything about how you make me feel. And that's not a physical feeling. That's just a inward knowing, this person is looking out for me. This person has my back. This person will allow me to be who I am and say what I need. And even when I'm not my best self, he's still there. Even when there are moments when I'm not sure, he's sure. And even when there are moments when I have questions. He has answers to the questions. Like I was telling y'all, I have that anxious attachment style. He's very secure in his attachment. He don't worry about anything. It's just, it is what it is. And we're going to work it out whichever way we need to work it out. So that's been very beneficial for me in this season of my life. And I think the reason why I didn't share too soon is because, again, you have those negative Nellies, you have those people who just have something to say because it didn't work the way you thought it would work, or how you, it didn't go how you thought it should go, or this is not how your system worked. Again, I just told you, God is not a respecter of persons. He's going to bless us because blessing is what he does, but how he does it may not look like how he does it for me. And guess what? I'm okay with him blessing you the way he wants to bless you, and I'm okay with him blessing me the way he wants to bless me. And so I live in that space of whatever you want to do, God, however you want to do it, it's going to be fine. The only agreement I need is from my kids. And we were talking about something the other day. I had like do a poll in the family group chat about something. And they were all coming to their own opinions, like do this mom, do that mom, whatever. And it was fine. And then whatever they said, I told him, and then he told them something back, and it was, it's just fine. I just needed, and still need to keep it extremely safe. He's very capable of, do I feel that I would move from my home? Is that what you're trying to ask me, Squeezes? If would I move from this house? Is that the question? You feel that you would from your home when you get married? When I get married, this house will not be our house, because this house is set up for my kids. This is for our kid. The bedroom is big enough. The closet is not. I don't have enough closet for any more. I don't have no more room for anybody in here. And I will not have a man join my life and feel like there's no space for him. My children have their own rooms, but there's no extra room in case he wanted his mom to come over, his sister, or whatever the case. So I would prefer to sell here, get all of the equity out, and then take that and put into something that is ours. Now, he has also the same thoughts. We'll put into something that's ours, and we get to decide what it looks like. Then nobody has ownership of anything. Like, I don't want him to feel like this is her house, I can't say anything, or even my kids to feel like, well, this is our house, you just showed up. That's not what we're doing. Alana, when I get married, for sure, Alana will move out. She's already decided that. She says, well, Mom, when you get married, I'm moving out. She wants to be on her own, and that's fine. Jackson's going to school, so it's not like we need to have all of this space because the kids live at home. But I do want to be able to have an extra bedroom here or there for whomever might want to come and visit us, or that kind of thing. I don't want my family to have to always spend in a hotel or spend the money if we have space. But we don't need all the space we have here if it's just he and I. So, but I don't want him to come to and I don't want to, how some couples, the husband stuff is in a different bedroom and he sleeps in the bedroom, but he has his clothes in it. I want it to be wherever we are, there's enough space for both of us in this space. And so, yes, I would sell this home and more than likely move where he is, because he still has more time on his job than I do, because he didn't start right out into the career he's in now. He was doing other things while he was in school for his bachelor's, master's. So it took him a minute to get started into his job, where I started immediately when I graduated high school. So I'm going to be 30 years in at 53. So he still has a bit more time. So I would totally leave where I am for sure and join him where he is. And I've always known that I would go where my husband is. So, yeah. But anywho, y'all, that was it. Those were the questions that I got. We can do this again. Y'all just make sure that y'all, I'll post out another one again. Probably won't be next week because I got to get ready for that meeting with the kids. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see whenever I'm feeling more like doing another video, but I'll just keep posting, or y'all just keep asking questions and I'll compile those questions and we'll just come out and chat. to see what's, see what's going on new for me or with y'all. Let me make sure I didn't want to miss anything. But hey, my somebody said your story is such a testimony and so amazing. It is, and it's my story, right? And it's it may be very different from yours, but I believe the Lord for me. I believe the Lord for what he has for me. I've never looked at anybody else's and said, God, can I have it just like them? I just want my story. That video that I did the other week about our story, I think I've watched that video 5 times, and I told him, I said, this is my favorite story about us. This is the favoriteest thing I've ever done where we are concerned. And he actually watched it too. And so I was like, I love us. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. This is what I thought, but I just love it for us. So in the beginning, everything was in one space, but not anymore. The love is still in one. Yeah, that's good. But I believe that we can have his and hers closets. I don't want them to be in the same closet. I got too much stuff for that. But I want him to have his own separate space, and feel like it's his. I don't want him to, I do not want him to feel like he is coming into my space. I want it to be ours. So anywho, y'all, I am going to be done here. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all those things. I hope this was good. Hope it answered the things that you answered. Yes, I'm going to go call my man back because I want to speak to him. We haven't talked today. We texted, but we haven't talked, and I do want to hear his voice before I go to bed. So anywho, love you guys. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all of the things, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank y'all for joining me.